We read Proverbs 31 on the podcast today, but it's not really what the podcast is about today. Redding, Geoff, Reverend Redding, if you will, our buddy, lost a friend, and that sucks. So I kind of just try to cheer him up. Why? Because I love him. Because he's great. Don't we love him? We love him. Let's do this shit.
You're fucking on my shit. That's what you're doing.
Hey, look, you made a really, really nice thing there. Can I drop it on the ground for you?
You broke my shit, Leif. You done broke my shit. There we go. Yeah, I was communing with Geoff Stanley last night.
How was that?
Messy.
Messy?
He died.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, Geoff was a New American Shame sound guy. He was also Green Album Quick Step sound guy.
Okay.
Well, they're calling it COVID, cancer and COVID, but I think a lot of it was lifestyle.
Yeah. It'll catch up.
Went into hospice. I think I talked to you. Was he going to hospice last week?
Yeah. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh yeah. It's that's what happens.
It's a weird season in life, ain't it? Like when all those people.
Grossy. Yeah, it's really weird, and it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of.
Did you see that? Did you see that picture I sent you in the middle of the night?
What? No.
It's your boys Gosling.
Oh,
at the Troubadour, opening up for the first Velvet Revolver show.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's so funny because I'm going to see Shane today. So
nice.
Yeah. I love that band.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention because we were waiting for Velvet Revolver, and I was sitting with, like the family and the ladies.
Credentials is. Yeah. Do we get right into the Bible?
Yeah, probably.
Right. I don't. So I was reading the fucking Gospels. I think we should do Proverbs today.
You're just gonna.
We'll just take a break. It's the Gospels when we read them this way, it stay forever. So, you said you're hungover?
Yeah.
What'd you do last night?
I was just I was looking for this picture of Geoff Stanley that I have that I took of Steve Jones having anal sex with him. And I just sort of got lost in it.
Oh man!
Rock photos, wormhole.
Yeah.
Geoff Stanley stuff and New American Shame, and
if he was in two different bands you were in, crew guys are like more family than family.
Yeah,
sometimes band guys,
Yeah, well, and he was like that for like a ton of people. Like he was doing it before I met him for, Lazy Susan and Sweetwater and
okay.
And he was just, the thing is like when I got in Green Apple, they had fired him for drinking. And they're like the best sound guy there is right up until he starts drinking. And I don't think actually his drinking affected his ability to do sound. He was just miraculous.
Yeah.
But they had already sacked him by the time I got in that band. But then when I got in New American Shame, he was the guy there, and we went out. And there was one time in particular, we were on tour with the Cult. Yeah, it's fun to say. And Ian is at the soundboard with the Cult while we're playing with the Cult sound. You know how like headliners won't let you use the whole
mix, the whole console,
the whole PA.
Yeah.
They were doing that, and Ian's like, "Why do they sound better than us without the full PA?" And he's just like, just raging on this guy. And then after that, they let us use the whole PA.
They're testing him. They're like, maybe we'll steal him.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah. So yeah, it was that guy, you know, like,
Yeah.
and so like, and it was really weird to think that, you know, we've only done maybe a half dozen shows in the last, you know, 20 years since we broke up. And it's like, oh, and Geoff's done every one of them, you know.
Oh yeah.
And so now it's like, well, one of us is gone.
Yeah.
Like he, you know, you don't want to, I wonder if we'll ever do it with him. And there's already talk about maybe doing something for him. But
that's pretty smart.
But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Mortality.
TikTok.
Yeah. And when you hit a certain age, and you know, friends start popping off, and unfortunately, in all of our degenerate social crazy friend groups, they all party. They all like did the hard living. Yeah, right. So it's like 10 years earlier than everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the truth. And so what am I looking for?
Oh, into the Bible. Well, I'm sorry, man. Proverbs 31.
Proverbs. I'm on Proverbs. I'm on Proverbs 30.
Hell yeah. One more chapter to go.
Motherfucking Proverbs 31, motherfucker. ESV.
Yeah, you're doing ESV?
I don't know. Should I?
Let me look. Excuse me.
How much of a bummer would it be if you finally got to be king, but your name was Lemuel?
Do the KJV. Which is the King James version. Not because it's good, but because it's entertaining.
Suck it, my son. Words of Lemuel. The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. What, my son, and what, the son of my womb, and what, the son of my vows? Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy...
Sorry.
The fuck is going on over there?
It's just so funny that it's instantly a mom worried about bitches, you know.
A mom worried about bitches?
Warning her son about, you know, women.
Oh, give not, yeah, okay.
You know, I don't know, just you know, you don't expect it from the Bible. Sorry.
Nor... I will have complete silence. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Show some respect to the fucking Bible, Leif. Brother Leif. Nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law, and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Damn. Open thy mouth for the dumb, in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and the needy. The good wife. Well, yeah, what?
Well, just the drinking stuff there, huh? That was
You did this on purpose, didn't you?
Oh, I wasn't super pumped when you started telling your story. When you texted, I'm hungover. I was like, "Fuck."
Well, I got good news and bad news.
Yeah,
this might ring a bell.
But like the let them drink if they're poor and about to perish. That's
good one. Well, I'm neither, Leif. I'm just having.
I was going to say it's kind of a bummer, right? Yeah, it's like, shouldn't you be able to throw back a couple every once in a while if you pay your taxes and, you know, don't jaywalk?
The good wife. Who can find a virtuous woman? I'm going to go on TikTok. Who can find a virtuous woman? Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
Hell yeah.
Preach. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant's ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. She considereth a field and buyeth it. Buyeth? That's not a word. I know that's not a word.
It's in the Bible.
That makes it official. With the fruit of her hands, and she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength.
Yes, you do.
That's really painful.
Strong loins. The American Gladiator,
strengthening your loins.
Oh, I guess that's Kegels.
She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. I think these are innuendos. Or maybe it's literal. I don't know. She layeth her hands to the spindle. That's your spindle. And her hands hold the staff. She stretched out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sitteth among the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen and selleth it. Selleth is not a word either. I'm sure of that. And delivereth girdles unto the merchant.
Girdles.
Strength and honor are her clothing. It's very hard to sew strength and honor. Like and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her.
What do you think about praiseth?
Whatever. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Excellest is also not a word. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. I think you're setting that one up for disappointment. There.
What do you mean?
I don't think any woman can be that virtuousness.
Oh, really? I bet you. I don't know. I bet you that just seems. I don't know. I bet there could be. That's just a long time ago for the standards. Today that might just be someone waking up and like getting their kids to school and then having a job. She works. Yeah, she's an entrepreneur essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting it done.
It's like, yeah, and it's like I actually used to love that verse though. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. I like growing up in purity culture. I was always like looking for that, like a girl, like she have strong hips. Could you really get into that plow? Could you really bring the linen in at the marketplace?
All right. She carried that hog over her shoulder.
But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
If we're negotiating with the texts,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
if we're fucking, if we're coming to it, I do think it's kind of cool that like, I don't know. This is relationship advice. We could talk more about the drinking if that's more in line with our vibe. If we're morose today. I'm trying to match your energy.
Oh yeah, well that's gonna be really hard.
Oh no, okay. I'm just gonna try to make you laugh then for another video. That sucks.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's all right.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is cool relationship stuff, but like, what about
Never mind business. What about a relationship?
What's the wine shit, the drinking shit? Because it's at the first half of the passage, all that wine shit. It's like, it's why I stayed away from drinking for so long. I didn't start drinking till I was about 25, 4. I started like drinking on tour because I was so nervous every fucking night,
That'll do it. Yeah.
Oh, I started smoking too because people were like looking at me and I didn't think I was cool, so I was like,
I need a prop.
Yeah.
How about James Dean?
Yeah, I didn't even know how to smoke, so I wasn't really inhaling it,
Yeah, that's how I smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's how you do it forever. Yeah, the fucking
like a cigar.
Yeah, and I stayed away from it kind of because of these verses, because the Bible is pretty.
These specific ones.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
Proverbs has a whole shit about the perils of wine and drinking,
Yeah,
but it's also it's used a lot, and there's some positive verses too. I mean, Jesus,
just like to get after it.
First Miracle Club, baby.
Yeah, man, come on, make it happen.
Yeah,
they don't say that how that evening ended.
Let's see. There's 12 dudes in unending wine. I wonder how that ended.
In the champagne room. No strippers.
Just
all dudes.
It's all fucking
and bottles. It's like, oh dear.
Yeah, come on. That unending wine? You think that was the first day they were drinking unending wine? That's the third month in a row they've been on this bender.
Like, dude, you can do it again. Come on, man. It's free.
It's been 24 hours a day for 3 months. Just fucking wine drunk.
And wine, and the wine back then is probably horrible.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine?
It's new.
Just like seeds and fucking skins in your teeth.
Yeah. Are we moving on?
That was it.
Yeah, I know. Are we going to?
No, we read the Bible.
That's it?
Yeah. We should. I was trying to get you to slow down in there, but I should have mentioned that. I mean, I would love to pick it apart, but I feel like mortality might be a better issue. I'll follow your lead right now in this thing. Make sure you're okay.
I just wanted to keep reading the Bible.
I just wanted to quickly. No,
I just wanted to keep reading, man. The inerrant word of God, Leif. Show it some respect. Yeah. I mean, I just want to. I don't know. The girdles. I'm stuck on the girdles.
Yeah. I mean, it holds a lot of things together, right? Like, I wonder if it's like a purity thing back then too, because where it covers, right?
Boobies.
I think it's the loins.
Isn't it the whole thing?
Yeah. I thought it was just mostly the loins, but I don't know.
Girdle?
I don't know.
I don't know. I lost my last girdle, and it was very young.
I've never worn one. We were gonna make one at sewing class in my homeschool co-op, but
because it says so here.
Oh man,
girdles.
We made a big thing with every year you'd make the armor of God in Sunday school.
Oh dear.
And like take cardboard and put like righteousness on a breastplate and salvation on a helmet. And like you wear it around church with a little Bible sword.
Oh no, you wouldn't. A Bible sword?
Oh yeah.
What is a Bible sword?
It's like a piece of cardboard sword that has the word Bible just written on what would be a blade.
And so you're like, everybody knows what it is because they went through it also?
Well, yeah, there's I can't remember what book it's in, but I believe it's Paul talks about the put on the armor of God to stand against your enemy, the devil. And it's like, gird yourself up with the breastplate of righteousness and the helmet of salvation, and the feet ready to bring the gospel. You know, like it's like there's this
so you guys
outfit
would
of
literally dress the kids up in the outfit of righteousness.
yeah. You'd be like, I'm gonna save people, running around the church. Yeah. There was so my mom was actually pretty big into conspiracy theories, and she
back then
forever. My mom and dad have always been
open.
Hence the reason I have a hard time with them. But yeah, so she worked for this like super conspiracy theorist Christian girl. She organized all her files and like collected data and like got ready for talks. And she even went on a couple like pretty big AM radio Christian conspiracy radio shows. And this girl was like predicting the end of the world, I believe.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I would have to go as a kid and just sit there because we're homeschooled. And this woman has nothing fun in her house. She's a full-time conspiracy theorist, Christian conspiracy theorist. That's how she makes a living, you know?
Yeah.
But she did have a Nintendo with one game. I don't even remember the name, but you got to be Moses, I believe. Yeah. And it was like, he ran around with a staff, like shooting things at like snakes
shooting
the devil.
Evil. Shooting evil.
Yeah, it was a fucking Bible video game.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah,
At least she had one.
I played it a lot.
But
yeah.
she didn't have it because she had kids. That was her video game.
She had no kids.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Heavy lifting for me on this one, huh?
What? Heavy lifting?
Are you okay? Can I bring you a soda? Do you need a coffee? Is good.
Yeah, come on, Leif. Fucking step it up.
I mean, I'll start rambling about the Bible. They tell me what. How you doing? You okay?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Is my energy level like noticeably just zero?
Fucking, it's pretty bad.
Normal. I'm not actually that hungover. I'm just like,
no. I'm talking about friend time and the bummer.
Yeah. And also, but I only slept like I fell asleep at like 4.
Yeah.
But you always do that. But I'm not you. And
I'm trying to stop. It's yeah.
It's not good for you. You need sleep.
Yeah, I finally kind of got it fixed. It's my tongue.
Your tongue?
My tongue's too big for my mouth, so I went to all these doctors. Is that hilarious? It's like huge. Like it's always cut up on the sides because it goes over my fucking teeth, and so it falls back in my throat when if I sleep anywhere by my side, it will just like block my air passage. So I have this double retainer that keeps my jaw out that far.
Yeah.
So I look like Nate Diaz.
So you like it makes it so that
my tongue can't fall back into
your tongue. Your tongue stays in your mouth hole. Yeah.
And so I mean, but it makes sense why I was never sleeping for 20 years because I would just wake up every 5 seconds snoring. And then it'd be like, I just don't even sleep. I would cut out the snoring parts of my brain and be like, I was just up. So I'd just work out all night or write songs all night and like had insomnia for 22 years or something like that.
Yeah. Isn't that called sleep apnea?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. But I like cuddling. I love cuddling. I'm not going to get a machine that like makes me look like Darth Vader. You know, so I went to like a fuckload of doctors down here but it works. It works. So
your tongue is too big.
Yeah.
What are you doing later? I got good news and bad news, Leif.
Yeah, it's really wide.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna leave that alone. This is a Bible study. My tongue is too big. It makes me everybody's best friend. Well, I'm glad that you got that
Thank you.
fixed.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
It really does help because, like, that Fight Club shit's real. Like, when you don't sleep, like,
right.
shit gets wacky.
Yeah, quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wonder if I wonder if that induces the same level of like drug piercing the veil psychosis, like lack of sleep. I wonder if that shit's all in your head or actually real.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I don't think you're getting anything extra when
Yeah.
you're not sleeping. I think it's a lack of that makes you delusional, as opposed to an additive that helps like unlock.
It
I
seems
think
to
you
be.
kind of like spiral into yourself as opposed to open a door and go somewhere else, maybe.
And the smallest things become so hard.
Yeah. I never, when I was living in California, there was a time where I would sleep every other day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would just stay up practicing. It's kind of like what you're talking about. It's like I
Yeah.
would stay up practicing one, like I don't just sleep every day.
Right. Yeah.
It's
You're
like
like,
a waste of
yeah.
time.
Yeah. I can play in the rehearsal space all night.
Well, I was just in my apartment because it was fucking in the hood, but
Oh, sweet.
no one cared. Yeah. Drink your way through it. It was all right. And then get up at 5 and go to the diner.
What
Oh,
diner?
breakfast. The Bright Spot.
Oh, I've been there.
I'm pretty sure it's still there. It's right on Caesar. Well, it's like where I think it's just before Sunset turns into Cesar Chavez.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
It's right at Alvarado. Sunset now. I think Sunset and Alvarado. Or it's been a while since I've been there. Sunset and Echo Park Boulevard. I
Okay.
think that's where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just power through it. But also, that's good because we're getting to the age where you needed a bunch of those memories. You know what I'm saying? Like
I've
you went
thought
out.
about that. I think about that a lot. When it's like what was it? Was it? Were we reading the Bible, or was someone talking about like worrying about not having done things,
Um,
or was it a movie I was watching? I don't know.
it was a movie you're watching.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that now, you know, mm, anytime I hear you watch these movies where people are like, well, what have I done? What have you done with your life? And what did when you were young, did you do anything? It's like,
Yeah.
well, the fuck yeah. It's nice to not to not to not to like rest on anything on your past glories.
Well, you had not to become self-indulgent, but at least to just like, as you age, like you've gotten all that rambunctious shit out. You can contemplate and look back on and think on, and like it provides immense sources of joy. Especially, I mean, it's funny because my camera roll on my iPhone, it picks up the first photos are at Hell's Kitchen in Tacoma at a show because I bought it on the way there and got a phone before the gig.
What year was that?
2011. And it's crazy because all of my touring years that were actually cool, like there's zero photos. There's like videos and photos weren't really a thing. Like,
dude,
that's how old we are.
Such a bummer. I know.
I think it's rad.
No, I think it's amazing. You just couldn't do what you couldn't do it now. Couldn't. You could.
You totally could, but maybe we'd be resting on our laurels, just be posting photos from that time span, not trying to make any new memories,
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good thing. But
well, I would roll around like I would buy. I had like those disposable cameras. Like I've got selfies from 2099, 98, 97.
Yeah, you have a selfie with Steve Jones. I didn't even know that was a bucket list thing for me.
Yeah. I don't even. I can. Yeah. Well. See, I don't even know how to do it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
Energy.
Yep.
Good times. I it's crazy. I've reconnected with some old friends, and it's weird how you like block certain years, not from trauma, just from just life constantly happening. You know, you're like, oh, that's right. We used to always go down the river, you know, or like, that's right. We used to ride our bikes in the neighborhood and in the snow, you know, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
I would. It's like it brought back these years because when I was 13 and we moved out to the woods, it was just like basically my life was just jumping off high things, like into a very shallow river, to like 4 feet of water, and just like jumping off a fucking huge trestle that's like 45, 50 feet off the river.
Yeah.
And on this other side, there was this totally decrepit at the time trestle, and it was about 75 feet off the cement and then the river. And we would just climb underneath it. We'd just climb down into the iron and like climb over to where the big, huge, massive cement pylons go up in the air and like play in that area. And then
just daring it to
that's what we did.
collapse on you.
We would walk a mile to do that. Like we would, and
hey, let's go almost get crushed.
Like, yeah. I mean, my mom would make us 4 kids, and the ages spanned, we're pretty close together, but it's like, 41, like, so let's say at this time, it's like a 15-year-old, a 13-year-old, 11 and a 9-year-old, and like she would make us for PE take a raft, like one of those yellow Costco inflatable rafts, and walk up. You could walk up about a mile and get about a 20-minute float on this river. The river came to our backyard, so it's like we could just get out there and get out. But it was about a 35-minute walk or 20-minute walk, I mean, carrying a raft, and then, another 30, 20-minute float, depending on the current. And we do it.
That would give her an hour.
Dude,
an hour without you guys.
She would make us go a bunch of times in a row some days. So it's like, mind you,
she's trying to rub one out.
I don't know. I kind of doubt it with my mom, unfortunately. I wish she would have. But anyway, we would lose the oars, and then we're broke, so we wouldn't get any new oars. So we would just flip it over and lay on the bottom of this raft and use our hands. Like no life jackets.
And how big a river are we talking about?
Well, that's the thing. It's the Cedar River is not very crazy, but it just so happens that there's one crazy part, and the only crazy part on the whole river is directly before our house. And I'm talking about 100 yards away. Like there's a corner, and then there's our house. This corner and this snaggle, we had a friend she did drown, but she got revived because you get sucked under. These beavers have made a dam, and like there's all this shit everywhere, and it just pops your raft, and then you get sucked under this rock and this shit. And so like, yeah, it just so happened that we went over that about 450,000 times this summer.
Get up in the river. Go around the fucking beavers.
Man, if it was for jerking off, that's crazy. I've never even thought about that.
Do you remember? You remember like coming up to? It's just funny. You remember porn when you were a kid? Like finding like a magazine in the woods or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like, yeah, and it was just like 3 or 4 pages. And it was just like,
yeah,
and she's like,
the danger.
And kids now have porn on their phone. When they're like, when do kids get phones? I just can't imagine like growing up with an unlimited supply of porn.
an unlimited dopamine hit when your body starts craving it right at the time the chemicals all hit. That's fucking. It's like giving a kid that age a Ferrari, you know,
Yeah.
or like a super fast car.
Yeah. Sorry.
They can barely see over the steering wheel.
Yeah.
You know, like that's. I mean, like because I only found porn like once or twice in my entire life in the woods, or
Yeah.
it was by the side of the road once.
Or you'd have like a buddy's dad had like a collection in the garage in a box. I remember. Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know?
Lift more, Leif. Fucking do.
Well, it's funny because as you grow up, we knew a lot of weird, fun people, and it's why I can talk so much shit because there's so many of them that no one knows who I'm talking about. But there was a pastor, and pretty fringy type pastor. He had an earring that was really edgy back then. Yeah. And he also had a brother that went through a lot of hard times. And, we're young, so this brother's probably like 25. But to me, he's like an adult, like,
Right.
because I'm young. And they had a tiny little house in a cul-de-sac. So this brother had taken out a section of the fence of their backyard that was up against a nature reserve type place and went about 50, 100 yards back in there and made a pallet home. Took an extension cord out there and like tarp, and he made like a fort. And I always thought it was the weirdest thing because a grown ass, in my opinion, he could have been 25, but
Right.
man is like hanging out in a 4-foot high fort that he's built. And then I'm like, as I got older, I'm like, oh, that's for jerking off.
Oh.
There's 7 people in that house, in that tiny house.
And they're all priests.
And
It's
this
not
guy
okay.
probably wasn't.
No.
I think this guy was there because he liked cocaine too much, So of course,
Yeah. Cocaine and jerking it. Two things that I'm not sure go well together, but whatever. I'm not certain. I've just heard.
You've never tried? Yeah, I've never had great experience with cocaine, and
I haven't done it enough.
man, there was a couple of years where I guess I did do it quite a bit. It was fun. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's weird to it's weird to like, yeah, but it's not. It's like I don't like it. I don't keep doing it.
I can't. It's not that I have to do it.
I turn it down more than anything now. It's because the problem is it's really fun, and you get all high, and you have all these ideas, and none of them are real. Not a single fucking one of them are real. And I don't know. Yeah, there's other things. There's other side effects.
Well, we did it not. I mean, before COVID, like I hadn't done it in 20, 25 years, forever. Hadn't done it forever. Like in, not since probably the kid was alive. And then I don't even know where he was. Maybe he must have been down south or something, but we were out in West Seattle and people were going to the bathroom. It was like me and another dude and like a whole table full of wives. And all these girls are going into the bathroom doing key bumps. And like the first 3 rounds, I'm like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, all right, can I just take it? I'll just put it in my drink,
Yeah.
And I did. It was like, you got to get that little come up. It's like,
yeah.
And I didn't know how much they were doing. And apparently I put like way more in my drink than they were doing. Not a ton, but like for me, it was a ton. And I didn't sleep for 3 days. I got home and I was like, I couldn't sleep for a whole. Yeah, it wasn't 3 days, but it was a whole day. I was just like, I was still up the next, afternoon. Yeah. I'm just like,
chewing on your lip.
I'm just not. That's not. I like sleeping too much.
It's super fun because you can keep drinking. It'll sober you right up, and then you can drink for the rest of the night. And
that's the whole thing. And then,
deal.
but if you fuck up, you're gonna have the worst hangover. You're gonna have the worst hangover. Like that's the thing is like if you don't ride it out. If you drink through it,
yeah,
that's what I had. I had a coke hangover once, and that was what kept me from ever doing it again. That was in the 80s. Yeah, just one time.
First time I really did coke was it was right when I joined the country band way back in the day.
Yeah.
Because I had never played that style of guitar before in a band, you know. It was like I liked Slash, you know. And we were going to play the Ellensburg Rodeo, which is, you know, there's a lot of people there. And we had to play a 4-hour set in the morning and a 4-hour set at night. So it was like an 8 hours of playing guitar. And so I was like, I think I'm going to take this with me just in case. So it ended up being a great night.
Seemed like a good enough, smart enough idea.
At the time, yeah, you know, but again, if things aren't incredible, if they're not useful for me as a human in like long form, short form, I don't know. I'll fall off. And cocaine is definitely that. Like, it's fun for a minute, but like,
yeah, it
didn't
stick.
Eat some mushrooms and go talk to a tree. You're going to be a way better human than like thinking that you're going to take over the real estate market. You know what I'm saying? like thinking that you're going to start the most cool bagel shop that West Seattle's ever had. You know, it's like the what?
Yeah. No, I got a bagel shop.
Dude, have you ever fucked with Adderall?
Well, so I had a Ritalin before. Okay. Yeah, I had all that shit after
How'd
cancer.
That work for you?
It was kind of necessary.
After cancer. That makes sense.
I had to kind of reshuffle the deck a little bit and get back to being able to. It just, you know, I was super like not ADHD. I was just like I couldn't concentrate. You know, I couldn't count to 4. I couldn't, you know, and I went back to work at the paint store I was managing, and I had to do the till at the end of the night. It's like I could fucking just
damn.
And so Ritalin helped out a bunch with that. So it was helpful. Yeah, but you know, eventually, but I was also on Ambien, so to like, you know, take this to like do during the day and this
gas and brakes.
Yeah, and eventually you have to just take the Band-Aid off. I just didn't just like be up for 4 days and then hopefully reset. But that's when I got on. That's when I first started. I wanted antidepressants because it'll regulate your sleep, and my oncologist wouldn't. You can't just go on antidepressants. You have to be you have to be prescribed. Doctors. Yeah, so I had to go see a therapist, and that was really the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, therapy rules.
Yeah,
yeah,
yep,
yeah.
But I also like Adderall. I like that.
See,
but,
I find it. I think
slippery slope.
Yeah, I say it's like because I was on it for like 7 years, because of the ADHD shit, and I liked that. It was cool because you have unending, and it is coke. Like it's
felony grade speed. Yeah.
And so it's like you end up. I was teaching like 50 students a week. I played in like 5 bands. I ran a studio. I'd just work 17 hours a day, and it could keep my body at that pace. But as soon as you don't have it, you can't move. Like I would be in bed for like 3 days. Like my body's so sore, my mind's so sore. And I realized, I was like, this is fucking bad. I mean, it took me years and years. Well, there was some other things I can't talk about on here that other people were doing. But, you know, I was just like, I went cold turkey with it. And I was like, I got to figure out a way to like get that naturally. Like I got to start working out or eating better or jumping in ice baths or fucking whatever I fucking eat. Cause like this drug is bad. And everything you do on it doesn't last. It like sucks. Like you might have written a song, but it's pretty dumb. You know, you might have like done some foundation work, but it's not level, you know?
That's funny because like I was, did you ever see that documentary about steroids in baseball? No. And it was a book, and they made a movie out of it, and they had kids playing the part, and it was like Alex Rodriguez. You remember that?
Yeah.
It was I didn't read the book, but I saw the movie and it was hilarious. And dude was on Rogan. He's like, how do you write this shit? He's like, Adderall.
Yeah, yeah.
And apparently, like, that's like for writers.
Oh, everyone's
It's
on it.
like, yeah,
Yeah, but it's not good shit. It's like stealing a song, and changing some lyrics. It's like you still don't know how to write a good song. You know what I'm saying? It gives you this extra human boost that isn't
natural.
sustainable.
Mm. Well, it is if you've got. Well, and it's weird that I don't know. I know
Fucks with
people
your
who
head, man. It
I
makes
know
you a
people who
weird.
well, and it'll like start. You'll start looking like you're doing meth after a while. It makes you kind of creasy and leathery
Yeah,
if you're not careful.
yeah, and I love it. I'm not like, don't get me wrong. Like that's why I don't do it. It's like
Yeah.
it's just the overall benefit in your life. Like it's not gonna wash out. It's not gonna be even. Like you think you're getting ahead and you won't.
Yeah. We just started watching Painkiller.
Oh, is it good?
It's horrible. I mean,
Oh, it's all about pharmaceuticals, isn't it?
it's about the Stackler family. It's about OxyContin. And it's just like, oh man. Yeah, and it hasn't even gotten bad yet, but they totally knew what they were doing, so whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not whatever. I have friends that like have died from this. I bet you do, and I bet you everyone does. Like,
Yeah, I got an ex-wife who fucking, that's where she went. Got someone's mom.
and I feel like didn't they made like, and these numbers I'm just pulling out, but the ratio they made like 18 billion and they got fined like 12 billion or 10 billion. So they still came out like, even after ruining America, weakening everyone.
I think I just read something that they're bankrupt, but bankrupt means I don't know what that means.
They moved all their money to a different company because their reputation's fucking shot. Now they got to fucking act like there's something else.
Yeah.
Oh no, sadness in my friend's eyes. I don't like this. I'm gonna start dancing.
No, it's just like, you're totally right. My energy level's in the toilet.
No, that's fine.
I just want to go back to bed.
Well, we will. You can.
Yeah, it's all good,
but
not right now, Geoff.
Well,
clap those cymbals together.
You don't even have to do that. Just be yourself. I mean, we could. I'm trying to get you to talk about mortality. I'm in.
Oh yeah, well, we do talk about it. We talk about it all the time, and it's just like, this is just honestly, it's like I had a really challenging relationship with Geoff.
I hate it.
Yeah, like it was really and honestly, like last night was, and yesterday, like like you just have to process that shit where it's like, and I'm not disappointed or sad that like our relationship was challenged and he passed. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter. Now it's okay. Well, we're good now, but it's still like a lot to process that, I want to tell the funny stories. You know what I mean? I want to remember the funny stories and not the parts that were so challenging. And the thing is that they're kind of intertwined, like, Kelly and I, the bass player, we were thirsty. We were thirsty fellas, and we would sit around, and if we had a day off, we'd just go find a bar and sit there and drink all day. And sometimes
probably the best days of your life too. That's fun as fuck.
Well, yeah, for us, but then like, some people would like try and like
keep up.
Yeah, and one time Stanley came with us, and we're like, "Are you sure?" And we were in the middle of Ohio somewhere. There was like one sports bar, and we're just sitting. We get there as they open. It's like 11:00 in the morning, and we're waiting for them to open. And we go and we sit at the bar when they open. And it was like one of those time lapse movies, like time lapse where it's like slowly people start showing up, and then like by the end of the night, it's like this fucking packed out place because it's the only bar anywhere. And if it was a time lapse, you'd see Stanley like periodically get up and, you know, whatever. And we heard like he was kind of creeping these chicks out, you know, like we were sitting there drinking all right. Just we're drinking, you know, we're just like doing it was like, I think we were having our vodkas and grapefruit at that point.
Delicious.
You know? Yeah. You know, like we'd order 2 so that, you know, when it gets busy,
you
so you
don't
don't have
wait.
to bug.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so Stanley gets up and, you know, he's like, we've done this before. We've had like people try to hang and they like get about, you know, a couple hours in and they're just like, and Stanley like is following girls around and trying, you know, he's at a bar, he thinks he's got a day off and he's like, and then at some point he's like, we look outside and he's like at the window outside and we're like, hey, what's going on with that guy? He's like, oh, they kicked him out. and so we go out there and we're like Stanley, why'd they kick you out, man? And he's like, I don't know. It's just he can't stand still. He's like, you know, back a stagger. I don't know.
I'm a fun guy. Why? I don't know. I'm fucking.
So like, you know, those are the fun. You know, it's just the fucking hilarious, and you know, you got to expect that sort of shit if you're gonna dance with the devil. You know. But there's, you know, and then there's the other ones that are like, it wasn't just that, you know, it was like, you know, permeated the whole relationship and, you know, professional relationship and personal. And, you know, it's like, it's not, but now it's just like, oh, well, you know, processing.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, it's heavy. It's like, and it's not, dude, it's happened before to people that are closer, you know, but I think he's the first guy so far. Oh no, he's not, because he's not. I was gonna say the first guy that I've been a band with, but he's not, because Howie died. Fucking Jose died in fucking 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know, so it's not. But I don't know. I think he might be the first guy that I was in a van with.
Okay.
Because yeah, that might be the case. First guy that, you know. So, you know, it's one of those guys, and it's like, that one. It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't sting. You know what I mean? I saw. He's been on this path for a few years now. In fact, the crazy part is, 2 months ago when he was really good buddies with Mark and Otis from Willard.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard that name in so long.
Yeah, well, they're both in Smoke It and See. Marianne, Mark and Marianne are married, and so so we were rehearsing for this show. We only, you know, and I was like, Otis, have you talked to Stanley? And he's like, I think he died. I'm like, he did not. He's like, I think he did. And so for like a week, we're like, did Stanley die? You know, and this is like 2 months ago. And so we went on this, like, you know, we had a mission. It's like, well, where the fuck is Stanley if he didn't die? And we finally found him. He was out of his parents, but apparently he was getting there, you know, but it was like that sort of thing where it's like, it wasn't surprising. It wouldn't have been entirely surprising if we'd have found out that Otis was right 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It only would have been surprising because we hadn't heard about it. But we thought maybe, you know, like it felt like maybe we did hear about it.
But it's crazy to have it happen right in front of your face with the people that you used to share so many intimate experiences with.
For real. Yeah. It's just, and like, and that is gone. Like he knows things that no one else knows. And those are, you know, like he has memories of those, he has perspectives on those shared times that no one else has, and now they're gone. Like that's the part that's like.
Do you think that stays forever? Everything stays forever. Like you
can
remember it.
Well, what's again?
Like us, like his energy. You know, do we like? Do the memories kick around? Is this a ball you can look into? You know what happens?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you at the end.
Okay.
I'll tell you when it's over. Yeah, no, I think that's what well, so he went into hospice last week and he didn't really want visitors, but our guy Brian Rowe went and saw him anyway. And I told him to tell Geoff that I was going to honor his wishes and not come, but I wanted him to let me know what it's like when he gets there. So I expect to hear from him.
I hope so.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I think it's the end of Blade Runner. All those memories will be lost like tears in rain.
That's pretty badass scene, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, and so like that's everybody's worry, isn't it? That like it's all just
know.
gone.
Yeah, I just man, I saw this 14-year-old, 13-year-old kid. I'll try to find it. It's actually not hard. And because it's old now. This happened like 10 years ago or something. But he's a physicist and he has this theory. But while he's describing his theory, he said this thing that I haven't really fact checked yet, but that energy can't be created or destroyed. It just changes forms. And I was like, Jesus. Like,
Well, that's I think that's true.
see, that gives me hope for the memories of this place.
Yeah, but they're not memories in the way that you like. I don't think that it's no. Memories are chemical reactions in your brain, and your brain stops working.
Oh,
the electricity that runs your brain doesn't stay in your body, but it doesn't die. Can't kill energy. Can't kill this. And I think whether your spirit or your soul, whatever you want to call that, your life force goes back to the well.
That's what the DMT shit feels like. It feels like you're part of everything. Like everything's there again. And it kind of did this weird thing for me that I still haven't been able to actualize in my day-to-day life, like in my actions totally, but it made me pumped on limitations. Like, because when you're part of everything, you can be everything or anything. And one of the times I was over there on this crazy DMT trip, it's like you could be a doorknob if you wanted, for like as long as you wanted, and realizing that part of the coolest thing of a human is to like limit our focus onto these things that can turn them into even more beautiful and crazy things, like strangely, like working out over a bunch of years, or like, you know what I'm saying, like, or like painting every fucking day,
construction,
like,
building something.
It's so weird, right? And like,
well, we're the only people that, well, we're not the only people, but like we're kind of the only I think that's amazing.
Go. We're the only thing that what?
We build houses. I mean, people, birds build nests. Everybody builds shelters, but like, they don't have indoor plumbing. They don't have AC. They don't have windows. Mm-mm. They don't build them in front of a lake on purpose. They don't build them away from people. Well, they do that. I imagine they try to be as protective as possible, but it's just like, it's so strange. They don't draw pictures. They don't write songs. They don't, they don't build cars.
Yeah. Are you talking about, so like,
I'm just saying that,
what is the difference between us and them, right?
Thumbs.
Not raccoons.
What's that?
Not raccoons.
Do they have thumbs?
I think they have thumbs, right? Yeah, they have little hands.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think they're opposable though. I could be wrong.
I don't. Yeah, you might be right.
Stop hanging out with raccoons. It's bad for your skin.
They will fuck you up. No one knows this. They will fuck you up.
Yeah.
If you run in, I mean, not all of them, but if you run into like a wild, like, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not okay.
But the consciousness angle, like you said, building, I think is where you're going with this. Like
Creating.
yeah, deers are the same thing they've been for a long time now. Sharks are the same thing they've been for a long time now. We, as if we're monkeys or if we're gods, we're kind of evolving. We are like,
we're a fucking weird thing, man.
pretty soon there's going to be chips in our brain that gives us everyone access to knowledge instantly, like,
yeah,
or a fucking hat you wear. It'll be, you know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and then I wonder. That's like, I mean it as far as like, we'll know as soon as we cross over. Oh fuck! It was that the whole time.
You think?
I got a feeling. I hope it's not just nothing. I hope it's not just like bloop, light switch.
Well, I mean, man. I mean, in many ways, that would be more peaceful, and you know what I'm saying. But like, because if there's more, then you're gonna. I mean, in affinity is real, then it means you're gonna go through some pretty crazy shit. Some of those universes probably resemble hell. You know. Have you ever seen this TV show, Devs?
What is it?
DEVS, Devs. It's a Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson. You know,
yeah.
He plays this tech genius that has a development department called Devs, and they made a supercomputer that can run computations so fast that it can actually tell the future. And that already gave away way too much of the fucking series.
Okay, don't tell me one more thing.
It's fucking good, man.
How many seasons are there?
I think there's only one.
Damn it!
I think there can only be one. I'll let you.
Because the computer.
No, it's really go watch because it does make me think, and it did make me like Jesus Christ.
Get there.
But
I don't know. But I don't know. It's so strange to like all this. Well, like we're just going through this massive transformation here at home to begin with, with the
change.
Empty nesting and whatever. And then like, I don't know. It's a weird time. It's a really weird time right now.
Getting older?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the next stage. It's like, but not so old that, okay, well, I spent the last 18 years of my life making sure this person would be ready to go off into the world, and now he's going off into the world. It's like, oh shit. So what can I still be what I was before, or do I turn into something new? Or I mean, I'm still going to be a dad, but I'm not going to be, like
you have a lot more free time.
It's a lot more. A lot more. Yeah. So it's like, what? It's just, and then there's people who are like not making it this far, the combination of like reaching a life's plateau or a life, like a next stage, a next chapter, and having people not make it to that chapter to begin with. Like I was going through all the photos on this computer yesterday, looking for the one of Geoff getting the rod.
Good God.
And just seeing like Joe Bass and Jose and fucking Howie. And, oh no, it was fine. It's like it wasn't but it's like they're not here. Like we're at this new, the next chapter, and like all these people didn't even make it this far, and it's like and it's just like that's what last night was. Just like it was pretty fun. And I meant to send that picture to you. I was sending a bunch to my buddy Mikey. And I was sending a bunch of cool photos, like, it's the on stage with ZZ Top, and like pictures with just all these crazy cool pictures. I just gave. I was like, fuck, look at that shit. Send that to him. So, stuff I never do. But it's right. Like,
well, memory lane, yeah.
Well, and sharing them, it's like I know I've done these things, but it's like I don't really put him out. And it was just like, he loves that shit. He's like, he's loved that shit because he never really got to do it very much. So he's like, you're living my dream. I'm like, it's mine too. But that's the sort of shit we were talking about earlier, where it's like, we've done a bunch of stuff. Like, we've done stuff. So it's like, at 55, at 65, at 75, it's not gonna be like, man, I really wish I would have gone crab fishing. That sounds exciting. I really wish I would have tried and gone.
Yeah, I've literally struggled with just retiring right now and just like living off dry milk. And like I'm like, some days I'm like, I don't even want to read a book anymore. Like right? Like,
what's next? What the fuck is next, man?
We're talking about cool shit. Now you're gonna make your day whatever you want.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah. It's just it's interesting. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And it there is this strange thing where, at least for me, because I met you when I was 18, right? And so like I was always the young friend for everyone. All my friends are 10, 15 years older than me.
Right.
Even back then, I always like was bored with my age group. So being 41 now, and you get closer to like real mortality. Like, I've never been afraid of it or whatever, but it's like, oh, this is different when it's palatable, when you can smell it. You kind of got a sight on the pinhole at the very, very. It's far away, but it's like, oh, it's there now.
Oh, I see it.
It does fuck with your head a little bit, like me. It's
just
been
you slowly acclimate because you have to, and again, like people,
stop.
Well, and people start dying, it's like more and more. I mean, I remember, God, so that was probably 2001 or 2. So I would have been, what is that? I was 30 in 98. Yeah. So I was still like, probably 30. I don't know. I was, I guess that's kind of young, 30 still. But I didn't know anybody who died until I was, like 32 or 33. Like, nobody in my direct circle, in my, and then there's like, doink.
No.
Doink. Just like super slow, like barely raining. It's just, oh, was that? I felt a drop of rain.
Oh, yeah, then it starts.
I felt a drop of, like, I found. Now it's starting to sprinkle. Now it's starting to sprinkle. Oh no, it's raining. It's definitely raining. I felt that's like 4 or 5 this year. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I feel like my first funeral was 8.
Yeah.
And like I went to so many funerals growing up.
Yeah.
And it was weird because for me, my dad was such a fucking like army Viking, weird, crazy, and like we were always in life-threatening situations, like towing a car and the car has jumped off the fucking trailer and is next to us on the highway, and I'm like 10 and I'm like, ah! And so death was just in my face all the time. And my uncle and aunt both died of AIDS, so I watched that, and that was young and that was heavy. Like, because my uncle just they waste away.
Yeah,
my uncle was buff and huge and like Sylvester Stallone, and then he was like a twig. He was like skinnier than my arm, and it was like, that's crazy. And unfortunately, that was a hard out. It was not a. Yeah.
That's. And how old were you?
9.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Yeah, we went to visit him, and he ended up passing away like that evening.
Yeah.
So I walked in, and he was like cursing God. He was like screaming.
He must be close.
Fuck you, fuck you. So as someone who's afraid of hell, right. And again, like he married into my family, but he spent 11 years in jail. He was not the best guy.
Sure.
gave fucking AIDS to my aunt. So,
Oh, what a guy.
what a guy. But it definitely lit the fire of heaven and hell for me at a young age, because it was, like, it was scary. Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's no fun, man.
Well, I think that's also, now with some hindsight, that's just a life ill-lived, unfortunately. That's what happens when you manipulate, cheat, steal. Steal.
Well, or you get rich and start, because you started a drug company.
I feel like, and I could be wrong, because this could be my horrible optimism that always bites me in the ass, but I do feel like something like karma, or like, obviously Christians use judgment, like God will judge you at the end. I do feel like that's kind of real. Like, what you do in secret will be brought out eventually. Like, you don't?
I don't know. I don't know. I know that there
seems
are
to always catch up with you.
Another horrible people that do, there are people that do horrible things that, I don't know if they get away with it or not. It's hard to say. I did do though?
Huh.
Me and Mike Squires hung out.
Oh yeah, killer. Yeah, he moved back.
We went
How
to
was it?
We went to Vashon and saw Martin's
Oh, you went to the
Bowie Rex.
Yeah.
And I'm giving Martin this big hug around there, and he's like, "Steady, easy."
Oh,
Because he just had his fucking kidney taken out. Oh, sorry, buddy. I'm gonna claw you back open, see if I can get some morsels out of there. Yeah, it was great. It was so awesome to see him.
Cool. Yeah.
And they sound so good.
Of course they do. Martin's involved.
Well, and Musburger's playing drums.
Oh,
and
shit.
Jeremy's playing bass, and DeJulio's playing.
Oh, and Dave's in it too, huh?
And
Peter?
Dave, yeah. They're just
what
fucking, they're murderer's row, man.
That's fucking slick.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And Martin's wearing got these heels, so he's like 6'5". Got this little fucking onesie singlet on. So fucking dope. Yeah, it was awesome. That's what you do. That's what you do to fight the blasés. You get with Mike Squires and go see fucking Bowie Rex.
It helps. Yeah. It does help.
This helps too.
Yeah, this helps a lot, man. It's. I think it is about just building as many beautiful memories, putting out as many good vibes. I know that's pretty woo woo right here, but like,
well, and really posting as much as you can.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, but the fucking, because like life is, again, I'm younger than you, and I've probably been in less bands, even though we've just been doing it longer. But like, you meet all these crazy characters along the way, like people who play in bands, artists. I love them. Like, yes, they're unstable. Yes, they might steal your change sometimes. Yes, there's going to be like some challenges, let's say, in your friendship. But they're so much fun to be around. And like, Joseph, the drummer from Vendetta Red, was the first to go. And that was fucking crazy. And then his best bud, who is my favorite person in the band, who told me to get the tattoo.
2 of those guys are gone now.
2.
Jesus.
It's so sad. And they're both brilliant, Like Justin was, for me, it was like never getting to play in a band with Justin again is like one of my, and I tried so hard to figure out so many ways. I just love him. I love being around him. Even with all his crazy, he threw a brick at me once, a cinder block. Still love him,
Yeah.
Like, he's rad. He was the best. He was, he was these unique, weird people. It is kind of weird reaching this age where we have to say goodbye.
We have to say goodbye?
No, to them, Like,
oh, okay. I'm like, okay, bye, everyone. Good ending.
No. Well, if you're feeling better, we can say goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're feeling better, you can go back to bed.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Big hugs.
Yep.
It's
go
weird.
hug my sweetie.
Yeah. Yeah. And from me to you through there, just like that. Yeah. Let's say goodbye.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you listening.
Thanks. Thanks, Australia.
Yeah. Thanks, Japan.
Yes.
Popeye.
That's what it is. That's so funny. I remember that story. Anyway.